What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're looking at 15 incredible games coming in 2026 that you absolutely need to know about. From action-adventure classics to horror masterpieces, this lineup is seriously impressive. Let's dive right in, starting at number 15. Legacy of Kain Ascendance is shaping up to be a dark, lore-driven return to the iconic vampire universe, releasing on March 31st, 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2 and other platforms. Instead of the classic 3D action style, this entry focuses on a 2D action platformer structure that blends fast combat with fluid movement and precise traversal. Players can switch between Kain, Raziel, and the new character, Elliot, each offering distinct abilities that change how you approach combat and exploration. The gameplay emphasizes rhythm, stamina-based actions, and tight control during battles and platforming sections, giving it a skill-focused feel rather than a slow RPG pace. Visually, the game mixes detailed pixel art gameplay with occasional PS1-inspired 3D narrative segments, creating a nostalgic but modern presentation. The story introduces a brand new narrative within the Legacy of Kain universe, with a strong focus on mythology, atmosphere, and character-driven storytelling without relying on remakes. DECAPOLICE is an upcoming crime suspense RPG scheduled for release in 2026 on Nintendo Switch, positioned among the major story-driven titles of the new generation lineup. The game takes place in a futuristic city where players step into the role of a rookie detective, solving complex cases through a unique dual-world system that blends real-world investigation with virtual simulation analysis. Gameplay focuses on exploring a large open city, gathering clues, interrogating suspects, and reconstructing crimes, while occasionally engaging in action RPG-style encounters with criminals. Progression is tightly connected to how well you analyze evidence and connect information, giving the experience a strong detective feel rather than pure combat focus. Visually, the game features a stylized anime-inspired presentation and cinematic storytelling, with a narrative centered on uncovering deeper conspiracies behind rising crime. Overall, it aims to deliver a story-heavy, investigative RPG experience built around mystery, exploration, and case-solving mechanics. Pokemon Pokopia is a relaxing life simulation spin-off set to release on March 5th, 2026, exclusively for Nintendo Switch 2, offering a very different experience compared to traditional Pokemon RPGs. Instead of focusing on battles and gyms, the game centers on crafting, building, and exploration, as you play as a Ditto transformed into a human who must restore a barren world into a thriving paradise for Pokemon. The core gameplay loop revolves around collecting resources, constructing habitats, farming, and gradually attracting new Pokemon to your growing ecosystem. A unique mechanic allows Pokemon moves to replace tools, meaning abilities are used for planting, watering, cutting, and shaping the environment, making interaction with the world feel more dynamic and creative. The game features multiple biomes, a real-time day and night cycle, and cooperative multiplayer options, all wrapped in a cozy sandbox structure focused on slow progression, creativity, and world building, rather than combat-heavy gameplay. Pilgrim EX is a retro-style action-adventure brawler set to release on March 3rd, 2026 for Nintendo Switch and modern platforms, bringing back the chaotic energy of classic arcade beat-em-ups with a modern twist. The game features fast-paced, combo-driven combat, where players fight using stylish melee attacks, special moves, and improvised weapons, while chaining flashy combos in hectic battles. Set in a time-warped version of Toronto, overrun by rival gangs, robots, and demons, the story follows Scott, Ramona, and other characters as they battle across the city to uncover the mystery behind their friend's abduction, in a brand new narrative written with input from the original creator. Gameplay is built around a non-linear, interconnected city map inspired by classic open brawlers, allowing exploration, side quests, and character upgrades instead of strictly linear stages. With multiple playable characters, unique abilities, and both local and online co-op, the experience focuses on chaotic teamwork, exploration, and high-energy combat that rewards creativity and improvisation. Orbitals is a co-op puzzle adventure scheduled to release in summer 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2, built around teamwork, exploration, and communication, rather than traditional combat-focused gameplay. The experience follows two young explorers, Maki and Omura, whose home station becomes trapped inside a mysterious cosmic storm, pushing them to venture into dangerous space zones and abandoned stations in search of a way to save their home. Gameplay is designed primarily for asymmetric two-player co-op, where each character has unique tools and abilities that must be used together to solve environmental puzzles, navigate hazards, and pilot their ship through asteroid fields and unstable areas. Progression is driven by cooperative problem-solving, exploration, and discovery, with puzzles that require coordination instead of solo skill. Visually, the game features a colorful, retro, anime-inspired style that complements its cinematic space adventure tone, creating a relaxed but engaging journey focused on collaboration, storytelling, and shared exploration. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition launched on February 24, 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2, bringing the full open-world RPG experience to Nintendo hardware with all major expansions and additional content included. Set in the post-apocalyptic Commonwealth, the game focuses on player-driven exploration, branching quests, and deep role-playing systems, where every choice can influence factions, companions, and the overall outcome of the story. Gameplay blends real-time shooting, melee combat, and the strategic VATS targeting system, allowing you to slow time and plan attacks with precision during intense encounters. A major core mechanic is the extensive crafting and settlement building system, where you can construct bases, customize gear, and rebuild communities across the wasteland, adding a strong progression loop beyond combat and quests. With first and third-person perspectives, massive environmental storytelling, and a dense sandbox world filled with secrets, the experience emphasizes freedom, exploration, and long-term immersion in a detailed post-nuclear setting. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam is a puzzle adventure title scheduled for release in 2026 on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, marking the long-awaited return of the classic mystery-solving series. Set 1 year after the events of earlier Layton adventures, the story follows Professor Layton and Luke as they reunite in the steampunk city of Steam Bison, where strange incidents linked to advanced steam technology spark a brand new investigation. Gameplay stays true to the franchise's core formula, focusing on exploration, dialogue, and solving a wide variety of brain teasers, riddles, and logic puzzles that are seamlessly integrated into the narrative progression. Players investigate environments, interact with characters, and uncover clues to advance the mystery, while experiencing a story-driven journey with cinematic presentation and animated visuals. With newly designed puzzles, modern controls, and a strong emphasis on storytelling and discovery, the game aims to deliver a thoughtful, mystery-focused experience centered on puzzles, narrative depth, and immersive investigation. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is set to release on June 3, 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2, bringing the second chapter of the remake trilogy to a portable system with its full, open-area RPG experience. The game continues the journey of Cloud and his party as they leave Midgar and explore vast regions filled with side quests, activities, and story-driven events that expand the world far beyond the previous entry. Gameplay features a hybrid combat system that blends real-time action with strategic command-based abilities, magic, and party switching, allowing players to adapt their playstyle during fast-paced battles. Exploration plays a much bigger role this time, with larger environments, more freedom in traversal, and deeper interaction across different locations. The Switch 2 version also introduces streamlined progression options to make combat and exploration more accessible while preserving the core systems, resulting in a cinematic, character-focused JRPG that emphasizes world exploration, tactical combat, and narrative depth without losing its immersive pacing. Captain Tsubasa 2, World Fighters, is scheduled to release in 2026 for Nintendo Switch and modern platforms, delivering an anime-style football experience that focuses on flashy action and cinematic gameplay rather than realistic simulation. The game features fast-paced arcade matches, where players use over-the-top special moves, powerful shots, and character-specific techniques that recreate the dramatic style of the original series. Gameplay expands with improved mechanics for dribbling, passing, tackling, and tactical duels between attackers and goalkeepers, adding more strategy to each match while keeping the energetic pacing. Players can choose from numerous national teams and a large roster of characters, or create their own original player, and progress through a story-driven journey inspired by the Junior World arc. The narrative centers on international tournaments, rival teams, and character growth, blending sports progression with anime storytelling to create a dynamic football experience focused on spectacle, customization, and competitive action. The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales, is an HD 2D action RPG set to release on June 18, 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2, bringing a fresh blend of real-time combat and world exploration from the team behind Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default. In this adventure, you play as Elliot, a young explorer journeying across the wild continent of Philibieldia with his fairy companion Faye, uncovering ancient history, forgotten ruins, and mysterious pathways that expand the map as you go. The combat is fast and fluid, featuring around 7 weapon types you can upgrade and switch between on the fly, as well as a customizable magicite system that alters abilities and combat style. Faye isn't just a story partner. She supports you in battle with strategic abilities and collection help, and can be controlled by AI or a second player in optional cooperative play. Exploration is a core part of the loop, rewarding curiosity with hidden dungeons, secrets, and narrative threads about humanity's last city and the enigmatic forces that shaped the world. With its nostalgic HD 2D look and action-focused systems, the game feels like a classic fantasy RPG reimagined for 2026. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is set to release on May 12, 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2, delivering a cinematic, first-person action-adventure that focuses on exploration, puzzles, and immersive storytelling rather than pure combat. Set in 1937, between classic film events, the story follows Indy as he travels across global locations like ancient ruins and historical cities to uncover the mystery behind the Great Circle, a network of connected archaeological sites tied to a hidden power. Gameplay emphasizes sandbox-style level design, allowing players to explore large environments, discover secrets, and approach objectives through stealth, puzzle solving, or direct confrontation. The whip plays a central role in traversal and gameplay, used for climbing, swinging, and interacting with the environment, while combat blends melee, stealth takedowns, and gunplay. With cinematic presentation, investigative mechanics, and adventure-focused pacing, the experience aims to capture the feeling of a classic, globe-trotting adventure built around discovery, exploration, and narrative depth. Trails in the Sky Second Chapter is scheduled to release in fall 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2 and modern platforms, serving as a full 3D remake of the classic second entry in the Trails series, and a direct continuation of the first chapter remake. The game follows Estelle as she travels across the kingdom of Libel in search of Joshua, while uncovering deeper conspiracies tied to the Ouroboros organization and larger events affecting the continent. Gameplay centers on a story-driven JRPG structure with strategic, turn-based combat, party-based abilities, and coordinated techniques that reward tactical positioning and timing rather than fast action. Exploration plays a major role, allowing players to visit towns, dungeons, and narrative locations filled with side quests, dialogue, and world-building that gradually expand the story. The remake modernizes visuals, animations, and systems, while preserving the original's character-focused pacing, resulting in a narrative-heavy RPG experience built around long-form storytelling, exploration, and deep character progression. Turok Origins is scheduled to release in fall 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2 and modern platforms, reimagining the classic franchise as a third-person action shooter with a stronger focus on cooperative gameplay and cinematic combat. Players take on the role of Turok warriors, ancient guardians tasked with protecting humanity from a massive alien threat, while battling dinosaurs and hostile creatures across multiple dangerous worlds. Gameplay centers on fast-paced combat, using a wide arsenal of weapons, including bows, firearms, and futuristic gear, alongside melee attacks and special abilities that enhance mobility and survivability. A key mechanic is the DNA upgrade system, which allows players to extract DNA from enemies and the environment to unlock new powers, suit enhancements, and combat upgrades that shape progression. The game supports both solo play and co-op missions, encouraging teamwork during large-scale battles and boss encounters, while exploration across jungles, temples, and alien landscapes adds a strong sense of adventure and discovery. The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion Remastered is set to release in 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2, bringing the classic open-world RPG back with modernized visuals and updated systems, while preserving its original sandbox freedom. Set in the vast province of Cyrodiil, the game allows players to explore cities, guilds, dungeons, and wilderness areas at their own pace, shaping their journey through non-linear quests and faction storylines. Gameplay revolves around real-time combat using melee, magic, and ranged builds, alongside a skill-based progression system where abilities improve based on how you play. The remastered version includes graphical overhauls, improved animations, enhanced AI, and refined controls, making exploration and combat feel smoother while keeping the core mechanics intact. With full expansion content included, and a story centered on stopping the Oblivion crisis and closing demonic gates across the world, the experience focuses heavily on immersion, player choice, and long-form role-playing within a richly detailed fantasy world. Resident Evil Requiem will be released on February 27, 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2 and modern platforms, delivering a cinematic survival horror experience that blends psychological tension with action-driven gameplay. The story follows FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft investigating a mysterious outbreak connected to past biohazard incidents, while Leon S. Kennedy returns as a major playable character, creating a dual protagonist structure with distinct playstyles. Gameplay shifts between Grace's slower, investigation-focused horror segments and Leon's more combat-heavy survival encounters, balancing tension, exploration, and action. Players explore eerie environments, solve environmental puzzles, manage limited resources, and face unpredictable enemies powered by advanced AI, reinforcing the survival aspect of each encounter. The game also supports both first-person and third-person perspectives, allowing a more immersive horror feel or a broader combat view depending on preference. There you have it, 15 amazing games coming to Nintendo Switch 2 in 2026. This lineup has something for everyone, whether you love action-adventure, RPGs, shooters, or horror. Which one are you picking up first? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more Switch 2 coverage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.